well-being. It feels a bit like security. It feels like appreciation. It feels like appreciating. It feels like being appreciated. It feels like stability. It feels like respect. It feels like fun. It feels like spontaneity. It feels like cleverness. It feels like humor. It feels like life. It feels like zest. It feels sensual. It feels like being alive. It feels like eagerness. It feels just right. It feels like home. It feels like well-being. It feels like fun. It feels like stability. It feels like appreciation. It feels like appreciating. It feels like spontaneity. It feels like being on vacation. It feels like home. It feels like comfort. It feels like honoring. It feels like honesty. It feels like home. It feels like well-being. It feels like who I am. It feels like love. It feels like source. It feels like clarity. It feels full. We want to say they're already on your path, but you'll realize it because you will be in the frequency that allows you to zig and zag and rendezvous. In other words, your path is never ending. Your path is continually unfolding. But your path can be everything. You can realize everything that you want in a relationship now. We don't want you to put up with what you don't want. We want you to find a way to find vibrational accord with what you do want, which means you got to get off the specifics that haven't lined up yet to the vibrational core of it, and then it will come. I'm going to stop beating up on myself for my natural law of attraction response to the momentum that is underway right now. Because your path, that momentum is your path, and where you are is all right. And in the absence of that self-condemnation, you're going to find some vibrations that are going to allow you to see some things that you haven't been allowing yourself to see. If we could get you to just do that one thing, stop being so mean to yourself in your comparison of where you are in relationship to where you want to be. Where you want to be would light up, light up, light up, light up. But if you have practiced, I'm a nice person and I like to feel good, and feeling good is who I am, and I was born to feel good, and Source adores me, and I want to feel good, and I'm making my way, and I'm figuring this out, and everything's unfolding, and I'm never going to get it done, and I can't get it wrong, and everything's working out for me. And I'm figuring it out as I go along, and I'm feeling better every day, and I like getting control of my vibrational frequencies, and I love knowing about these emotions, and I'm finding my way into unconditional love. And there are conditions that I don't like, but I don't have to focus on them. And it doesn't mean put my head in the sand. It means distract myself from the details of the condition and focus upon the general essence of why the condition is important to me. I can find a vibrational alignment with who I am, and as I find a vibrational alignment with who I want, and everything will show up. And in the meantime, things are showing up. Things are working out for me. I'm doing better than I'm giving myself credit to. I need to lighten up. I need to give myself a break. Here and now, my source is flowing to me. Am I letting it in? I could let it in. I could let source in. Lighten up a little bit. Be easier about yourself. But you got to practice some love before you can love yourself, and that's the hard part. It's easier to love out there than it is over here because you've been practicing not loving over here enough. The nice thing about dreams, and something really worth understanding, is that when you are asleep, your momentum of thought ceases. When we talk about law of attraction, you like that conversation, law of attraction. Yes. You get what you think about. We cannot talk about law of attraction without talking about momentum, because when you hold a thought, other thoughts of the same vibrational frequency join it. And so in a little while, in a very short while, in fact, you get momentum going. When you slumber, that momentum stops. Now, it isn't fair to say that all of your thought as humans is negative, and therefore when you sleep all of your negative momentum stops, because it's not just your negative momentum. All momentum stops when you sleep. Your point of attraction is on break while you are asleep. But the advantage of understanding that is that when you awaken the next morning, you have the best opportunity to find a different vibrational frequency and foster it until it becomes a more dominant belief. The reason that we tell you this is because when you are asleep, resistance is out of the way, and you translate through the dream reality what you're really feeling. And so if you're having a dream that is pleasant, that means that the vibration that you've got going on about that is in a good place. If you have recurring dreams that aren't pleasant, that means that the vibration that you've got going on about that is in a resistant place. So maybe after today you will use different terminology, because you can feel how you're setting yourself up for a continuation of a void by saying, when I was 6 years old. I'm guessing that was a while ago. When I was 6 years old, I lost the love of my life. And that's such a loaded statement. Lost isn't even true. The love of my life implies that it was something irreplaceable and it's gone. And if you really believe that, if you continue to think that so that you fashion it into a dominant belief, then that belief can hold you away from all kinds of wonderful alignment, which is why you use a word like loss. Friends, the only thing you can lose is your connection to who you are. And you use the strangest excuses to disallow your alignment with Source. It's why you use words like loss and shortage, and it's why you feel negative emotions. So, helpful?
Yes. And other than that, I just want to say that I agree with everything you said. I totally agree with it. I believe it. I like that it's that way. And I'm just so proud, so glad that I am here as human. And when I croak, I just can't wait to just be reborn again and again and again and again and again and again.
We like the way you're feeling. You're speaking exactly as you feel from broader non-physical perspective. Esther was having a conversation with a friend yesterday, and they were talking about the fear of death. And Esther was explaining to her friend that she has no personal fear of death. She actually doesn't fear the death of anyone, because the fear of it is the feeling that it will be a condition that will cause me to not be able to control the way I feel. And no one wants to feel bad. And so that's really what your dominant fears are, is that something that will happen that will take you into a dark, hurtful place, and you won't be able to do anything about it. So Esther was explaining that she no longer fears death for herself or anyone else. And then she said, but there's a new awareness that I have, because sometimes people want to maybe even think about the death experience as a relief experience, like maybe in that re-emerging into non-physical, and therefore the leaving behind all doubt and fear and trauma and struggle, that there will be a relief in that death experience. And Esther said, and I no longer feel that way, because I don't need relief that would come from the death experience. In fact, what I want is more focused here. That's what you're saying. More, when you're in alignment, this life experience just continues to become broader and deeper and more pleasurable and more expansive and more delicious. It's a really wonderful way to feel.
Yes, it is. And thank you very much.
Yeah, really good.